have weighed in on this conversation and they came with receipts. Well, it looks like the streets have weighed in on this conversation and they came with receipts. DJ Head basically said, bro, you asked for this shit. You can't get mad if you swung and your swing wasn't hard enough. Remember, Drake did start this whole goddamn beef. Keith Murray reminded us that, oh, ain't this the same Drake that used Halle Berry's image without her permission? And the same Drake that used an AI voice of deceased Tupac and was forced to take it down by the estate. Isn't that artist rights? Keish said, was it defamation when he said Megan lied about getting pow pow? Don't think UMG is not paying attention to all this shit we're saying. Y'all remember this? Drake literally said he fed Kendrick the information on wax. But now it's defamation? That's like throwing the rock and hiding your hand, sir. Somaya said culture won over commerce. Skill won over streams. The rapper won over the pop star. I remember Somaya from Love and Hip Hop New York. Drake didn't expect it. A lot of people didn't expect it. This era in hip hop is in shambles, but the right rapper won for all the right reasons. Drake doesn't understand this defamation suit is going to fuck him up in the end because the streets are talking and nothing is good about you. A lot of people saying Drake cannot file a defamation suit against Kendrick because Kendrick would slap him with one. Drake literally alleged that Kendrick was beating on his wife. Can that be defamation? This is the kind of shit you don't get into when you're in a rap battle. All I'm saying is Drake wanted to be known as one of the greatest and you going out like a bitch. You will never be on Tupac Biggie status doing shit like this. And the streets will never cut you any slack because of this. Real hip hop don't move this way.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Happy Thanksgiving. Shout out to y'all. I wanted to do a video before I got out in the streets. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. I heard Drake is trying to bait them into exposing themselves about how they make these artists pop pretty much. But overall, thank you for saying that, Divine Goddess. This isn't a lawsuit. This is a petition. And we're going to break all of this down so we can get an understanding of what's actually going on. Because an actual lawsuit would force discovery on both sides. And yes, discovery would show everything, but the thing about it is it's never going to get there, and we'll talk about how and why. But hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's go.
I'm a lawyer that's read through Drake's petition. Remember, it's not a lawsuit, it's a petition, or I like to call it the worst PR move in rap of all time. So you don't have to, and here's my legal analysis of it. This is a pre-action. A lawsuit has not been filed yet. Who even knows if a lawsuit will ever be filed, but they're asking the courts to order UMG to preserve evidence. Broadly, the main allegation is that two companies, Universal Music Group, UMG, and Spotify, came together and conspired to artificially inflate Kedrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Their argument is that had Kendrick's Not Like Us streams not been inflated, Drake would have gotten more streams because the inflation took away from streams he would have otherwise gotten. Allegedly, as part of this conspiracy, employees who were loyal to Drake were let go to cover up UMG's actions. They were allegedly paying podcasters, influencers, people in the media, radio stations to promote Not Like Us without the proper disclosure. They allege that a whistleblower reveals that a bot was able to achieve 30 million streams on Spotify in the first days of the release of Not Like Us, and in citing that, they point to DJ Academic's podcast. This part is interesting. They're saying that UMG is pointing the finger at Kendrick. They're saying this is Kendrick's fault, you should sue him. You know, as a matter of fact, if you sue him, we'll also sue him. They're throwing Kendrick under the bus.
What's up, Valerie? Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Why would they throw someone they inflated the streams for under the bus? UMG has already responded to the allegations. They said that no amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments in this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans choose the music they want to hear.
Okay, y'all, let's have a serious conversation on why Drake might be suing UMG for defamation of character. Okay, so when you're dealing with like large sums of money and doing contracts that are revolving around large sums of money, typically it is very common for these companies that are going to be shelling out the money to do a private investigation on the person they're giving money to. So if they're shelling out $400 million to Drake, they're going to investigate everything in his life to make sure that there's nothing out there that could come back to haunt them later. For example, PDF allegations. And the stuff concerning Millie Bobby Brown was already out. You know what I mean? Before Drake signed his deal, that stuff was already out there. So I'm sure they did a deep dive and looked into everything concerning that situation and investigated and found that there was no truth to it. So that is probably why Drake is suing, because he's saying, listen, you guys.
So I don't think Drake did anything crazy. I don't think Drake is a PDF file, but like we talk about a lot, I think these companies look to use influencers, you know, we talked about influence, in order to push a narrative to get the audience to be PDF files, to be gangsters, to be drug addicts, to be drug dealers, to hate women, all these different things. So they need the optics to look like Drake may be a PDF file in order for that to be cool or acceptable in the culture to do, if that makes any sense. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I just said. Because I want to, let me play this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand what I said, because I just want to make sure, because I think that's very, very, very important for y'all to understand when it comes to rappers, rap music. A lot of, like, for example, Future was exposed for not being a drug addict and just saying he did drugs in order to push the narrative that, or a narrative that being a drug addict is a cool thing to do. All right, hold on. Where is that video? Hold on. Where is video? Where's video? Where's video? All right, I'll come back to it.
Know that did a deep dive and looked into everything concerning that situation and investigated and found that there was no truth to it. So that is probably why Drake is suing, because he's saying, listen, you guys know that those allegations were untrue. You guys know that none of that is true because you did this private investigation and you probably received affidavits from Millie Bobby stating nothing like that happened between me and Drake. And she probably, when it had to go into detail, she probably had to share the text messages that they had between one another, showing that it was completely innocent. Her parents likely had to sign an affidavit and say, listen, we knew that they were in contact with each other. We were monitoring the contact. It was nothing going on there. It was nothing suspicious going on. They probably had to talk to every single girl that y'all tried to link to Drake and determined that these allegations are false. That's the only way they're going to cut that check. Okay? It's literally the only way. They're not going to risk writing him a contract for $400 million and handing him over $400 million, all for a month later somebody to come out and be like, this person did da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I had a video, I think I erased it, of Drake being on stage flirting with a 17-year-old and all this other stuff, right? And like I said, he was just like, oh, you so thick and all this other stuff. And she's like a little kid. And like I said, I think the theatrics of Drake looking like or appearing like he wants or likes, you know, somebody like that causes the audience to think that type of behavior is acceptable. Like she said, they most likely did their due diligence to make sure he wasn't doing these things. But at the same time, the same company that is paying him $400 million is pushing him to act like he does these things. So they're doing homework on him to make sure he doesn't do these things, but then they pay him to do these certain type of things in order to push young people into, you know, doing stupid, unethical things.
Me, and I'm suing, and you know, now his reputation is ruined and they can't recover that money. They're simply not going to do that. So I'm sure a thorough investigation was done on Drake prior to them cutting that check, and they probably determined, well, I'm pretty sure they determined that these allegations were completely false. So Drake is saying, y'all know that. You know that. And he filed this pre-filing this petition before the actual lawsuit because he probably wants to obtain the records showing, you know, from the private investigator showing that these allegations were false. So he's trying to get those affidavits from Millie Bobby. He's trying to get those affidavits from anyone that they, you know, had signed an affidavit, which I'm sure they had them sign affidavits at the time to show that, like, okay, we investigated this, we looked into this, you said that nothing was going on and nothing like that happened back then. He's also probably trying to obtain the text messages that she likely had to submit or that they found. She might not have submitted them, but they probably did a deep dive and found the old text messages between Drake and Millie Bobby. Because remember, Millie Bobby said, oh, we were texting and things like that. And he's giving me boy advice.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
They probably found those old text messages and determined that they were nothing. That it was literally nothing untoward about that situation.
I do not think Drake has done anything crazy. The optics. And then another thing, they pay you $400 million to push this narrative. And then at the same time, let's look at it for two different reasons. They push Drake to push a narrative or push the optics where it looks like Drake may be into young women, right? That's the first thing. Well, that's not the first thing. So hold on, let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all what it looks like. Some of y'all may have seen this before, but I want to show y'all for context purposes. So the record company talks Drake into acting like he likes young girls for two different reasons. One, to push the narrative and to get the you know, younger people to start, you know, being degenerates. But two, in order to have a fail safe where if Drake starts acting like he's holier than thou or I don't need you anymore, I'm going to leave and you can sue me, you can kiss my, you can do all that stuff. Next thing you know, they like, if you start talking mess, your label mate, Kendrick, is going to expose you for all the things that we actually paid you to actually start doing. Because that's literally what happened. Y'all remember this? Not there.
Well, I don't know if I should feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your breast feel against my chest.
But the thing about it is, I need y'all to listen to the audience. The audience is eating this up. The audience is like, oh my God, this is amazing. Instead of like, this is gross. I want to play it again, but y'all listen to the reaction of the audience. Drake is not doing this in real life. He's doing this on stage in order to get people in the crowd, his fans, to think that it's okay to do in their lives. Listen to the audience. They're cheering. Why are they cheering? About what?
Well, I don't know if I should feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your breath.
He should, I don't know if I should feel guilty or not. All of this is performative in order to get the crowd to think it's okay to do that in their personal lives. Listen to the dude like, ha, 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 ha. Watch this. Listen to the dude.
I like the way your breath feels.
See? Ha, 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 ha. They're like, they eating this shit up.
Against my chest.
You hear that? Oh! oh, these are men talking. These are men responding like, oh. So the optics say, whether he did or didn't, whether the optics say that this is acceptable in our culture, right? So then when Drake starts trying to pull away, starts trying to act like, you know, he has leverage, because all of this is about leverage. They're like, if you keep talking mess, we're going to find an interesting way to expose you as a PDF file. And Drake, thinking that he's on top of the world, like, you can't do this to me. I want my bonus, or I want to renegotiate my contract. I want to do this. I want to do that, or I ain't making no music. Oh, okay. Next thing you know, not saying that they did or didn't, they go to his label mate, which is Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar literally creates a whole campaign, you know, not like us, calling the man a PDF file. And now Drake's whole life is over. It's conditioning. It's not harassment. The girl is on stage. The girl could have walked away. Y'all have to understand, virtually everything you see on TV is choreographed. Everything you see on TV, whether it's the news, whether it's concerts, whether it's anything else, cartoons, whether it's Disney, we talked about Disney. Everything you see on TV is choreographed. It's meant to push a narrative. It's meant to push an agenda. They want young people to be gay. They want older men to like, you know, tadpoles. They push all of this. All of this is social conditioning. All right? All the gangster rap, they push all of this. It is conditioning. Y'all can think what y'all want. It's conditioning. All of this right here, these are optics in order to get the audience, his fans, to want to do this in their personal lives.
How old are you? 17? Why do you look like that?
You see the theatrics? How old are you? Oh, you don't think he knew she was 17? He was, oh, that's theatrics. All this is performative.
Look at all this. Well, I don't know if I should feel guilty or not, but I had fun. I like the way your breasts feel against my chest.
There's another part of this where he talks about I don't know if I want to go to jail for this, or maybe he said it in this video and I can't really hear it. But this is the type of narrative, the agenda that they're trying to push. So I want to share this with y'all because I think this is a very important conversation to have about just about life. This is an evolution conversation and not a Drake conversation. I'll say it again. This is an evolution conversation and not a Drake conversation. It's not about Drake. This is about evolution. To go even farther, this is a leverage conversation. See, when you're hot in your prospective industry or in your prospective relationship, you and somebody can meet, and y'all are like super into each other, right? Well, when you're into that person, that other person has leverage over you because they're new, they're interesting, they're the greatest thing you ever met, right? They have leverage. So leverage can be in relationships and not just in this industry. But back to the Drake situation. When you're hot in your perspective industry, this is literally the only time when you'll ever have leverage where you'll be able to negotiate certain terms in order to get what you want. Because I always say, you don't get what you ask for, you get what you negotiate. You don't get what you want, you get what you negotiate. And the time to negotiate things is when you have leverage. All right. So let's look at Drake as an example. Drake is an ass seller. I'll say it again. Drake is an ass seller. Drake has been selling his ass to BMG Music Company. UMG, Universal Music, for about 15 years. And before we get into that, let's do a quick commercial and we'll be right back.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
They ain't gonna get
really
wore out. after
durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
All right, so Magnum ICU says nobody's putting a gun to his head to be a creepy PDF file. They're not putting a gun to his head. They're putting money to his head. They're putting money to his head. Now, we've talked about this, well, certain things involving this ad nauseum. We talked about this last night. And Magnum ICU, you were here. Where's the video? We talked about this last night. I don't know if I can remember what video I use, but I can try. So back in the 90s, 80s, or whatever, there was conscious rap. And during the conscious rap era, at some point, they all, like the record companies, decided to have a conversation with each other and said they are going to outlaw, or not necessarily, incentivize rappers to be positive. They're now going to start incentivizing rappers to be negative. That's when the Uncle Luke's, the 2 Live Crews, the 2 Shorts, and of course, the NWAs of the world came out. Because y'all are sitting here like, they can't force you to do anything. Yes, they can. If you're an upcoming rapper and they're saying, the record execs that you're having meetings with are saying, hey, this conscious rap is not going to sell. We need something juicy. So we need you get in the studio and rap about deleting people. We need you to get out there and rap about, all this crazy stuff. And if you come back with an album that is full of debauchery and deleting people and hatred towards Black people, we'll sign you to a $2 million contract. And guess what happens? They're like, I can do that, no problem. And then they go in the damn studio and rap about debauchery. And now you got $2 million. So what y'all don't understand is nobody's putting a gun to anybody's head, but Nobody's putting a gun to women's head to be single mothers. But why are so many women single mothers? Because they want money. And it's not about money, it's about incentives. It's about benefits. Single mothers get benefits that a non-single mother doesn't get. She gets 10% off of her rent. Rent is sky high. But if you got a child, you're on Section 8. So the average rent, as an example, is $2,000 a month, right? But if you are a single mother, you can turn around and pay about $400 a month instead of $2,000 a month. So it will be to your best interest to get knocked up by a random dude and be a single mother, because now you don't have to pay $2,000 a month. So just like a rapper, it will behoove the rapper to get incentivized to get paid more money to talk about debauchery versus positive rap. And next thing you know, boom, you now are rapping about debauchery because it will pay you more money. All right. So it's not about guns to your head. It's about money to your head. All right. So back to what I was saying. Drake is an ass seller. He sells ass. What this means is Drake does not know how to survive without selling his ass to the machine. Y'all do understand that is, so women are having babies so their rent is cheaper? Yes, 1,000%. Yes. There will be no single mothers if it wasn't for the government incentivizing women to be single mothers. You think women just run around doing? No, they do it because in the back of their mind, before they think about getting the ABO, they like, well, I can get food stamps. I can get a welfare check. I can get this benefit. I can get that benefit. I can get Section 8. Okay, it wouldn't be that bad. Definitely. 80% of Black women are single mothers. And there's a specific reason. Because they want money. Or they want to save money. Incentivization. All right? So stop it. So Drake does not know how to live on his own and operate on his own. Why? Because Drake is a cornball. And I'm going to stop saying the word cornball, but there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. So this is who Drake actually is without the cloak of his daddy, which is Lucian Grange. This is who he is.
Statement where like we have our connects, we have that Janae song.
So this is who Drake actually is.
Could make a bit of a statement where like we have our connects, we have that Janae song, but like it would be nice to have like 3 joints in that vein.
This is how he actually talks in real life.
Of like, oh God, like Drake, that wasn't just a fluke, you know what I mean? I want to like establish some. So if there could be like a base or like something dark underneath it.
So that is who Drake actually is. Here's another example right here.
About you being Jewish real quick.
So Drake right here is saying that he is Jewish and not Black. And this is when he first got signed. And the person in the background talking is one of the guys from Hot 97, the white guy. I forgot his name. Y'all remember the name of the white guy on Hot 97?
Let's talk about you being Jewish real quick.
Let's do that.
Because a lot of people think that like Asher's Jewish.
Right.
He's not. His dad's Jewish. He doesn't really identify. All loves to Jews, but he's not Jewish.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand.
But he wasn't there. He didn't read his portion, first of all.
You didn't have a bar mitzvah.
Come on. Are you serious?
You had a. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Just
see, he had a bar mitzvah.
Tell. You don't understand how big you're about to be in the Jew world. Right?
You don't understand how big.
Yo,
First of all, I live in an all-Jewish area, so
where is that?
Forest Hill.
Okay.
I went.
See, this is who Drake actually is.
I went to a predominantly Jewish school growing up. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant, mind you.
My lord.
Yeah.
A nice Italian restaurant?
A very nice Italian restaurant. The song that
Magnum, I see you. I know you saying that you worked in Section 8, but that is not how it works. You apply for Section 8, you get Section 8. I don't know no woman. I understand about the Section 8 list, but it is not that long. Depending on what state you're in, Peter Rosenberg. Thank you so much. Peter Rosenberg. Yes. But you get Section 8. You know, you may have been in another state, but you get Section 8 when you apply for Section 8. There is a waiting list, but it's not long at all. By the time when you're pregnant, you apply for Section 8. By the time the baby comes, you got your Section 8 voucher. I've dated women who applied for Section 8. They got their Section 8 vouchers in a couple months.
night was Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way.
You are younger than me. I forget about that.
Yeah, man. I was in there. I was in synagogue. I had my yarmulke on.
Hebrew school, the whole nine. You did? No Hebrew school?
I didn't. I cheated. I didn't really.
And everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
So you just did that? No. Your parents are nice.
Yeah.
So they let you do the bar mitzvah without having to do the fucking Hebrew school. So your mom's Jewish.
My mother's Jewish.
See, I think Peter Rosenberg is also Jewish. That's why they're having this conversation, because they're the same people.
And you know, we have great Jewish dinners like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
First text message you ever sent me. Good Shabbos.
Yep, good Shabbos.
He kept it.
See, they're both Jewish.
Real.
Yeah.
Have you gotten approached yet by like the Jewish media yet?
No, I haven't gotten approached by the Jewish media, but somebody today, who I won't mention, was like, you know how big you're gonna be? And I was like,
wait, was that me 5 minutes ago? I remember saying that.
Somebody's like, you know how big you're gonna be? And he's like, this has never happened before. It's like every Jew is going to just like really embrace.
Well, here's the thing. There are Jews like my dad.
You hear him talking, right? You hear how he's talking, right?
Who like cling to like the biggest reaches. Yeah. Like, you know who's Jewish? Matt Damon. I'm like, no, he's not, Dad. He's definitely not Jewish. And like people reach, and the fact that you actually identify, that's gonna be big.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
You're doing something that I could never do.
Some of like my blackest friends can be just as cruel on the other end, you know, by making you feel excluded, or making you feel like you can't get in on this. And sometimes I don't feel celebrated when I know maybe somebody else would be celebrated for those accomplishments. You know, when Drake is the artist of the decade, I don't think anybody says, wow, a black artist is the artist of the decade. I don't think anybody says that. Yeah, of course, there's a part of me that wishes that I was.
Because you want to be Jewish. You claim being Jewish, sir. You're not black, sir.
Celebrated a little more, but I mean, who wants to listen to me cry about being celebrated?
We need your black card back, your nigga credit limit. Your black card has been revoked. 'Cause we can tolerate ya, but we don't wanna hear you say, nigga no more.
All right, so I'm playing that to show you that he came in the game as a white boy. All right, and that's who he actually is. So let's go down this rabbit hole, because like I said, this is very important, involving just life as just all together. Okay, so Drake is an ass seller, meaning he doesn't know how to survive without selling his ass to the machine that brought him over here from Canada to America in the first place. The machine is Universal Music Group, which is in its rawest form a bank. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. Universal Music Group and these other companies are literally just banks. Or you can say it's a casino. A casino is also a bank. All right. And no matter who you are, you will never win against the house in a casino. Right. So, and because Drake chose to be the property of Universal Music Group, I'll say it again, because Drake chose to be the property of Universal Music Group. You gotta remember, Drake is like a slave. You know how they went to, you know, how they say they went to Africa and got a bunch of slaves and brought them to America. They literally did that with Drake. They went to Canada, made him a slave, and brought him over to America. So they brought Drake over on a boat like they did the slaves. All right. So he is now the property of Universal Music Group. All right. So it's two people. There's Drake and there is Aubrey. All right. Aubrey was who I just showed you. Drake is the person that Universal Music Group created. All right. You don't have an identity of your own. You are the property of Universal Music Group. Perfect example right here. My notes are beautiful. Example 112. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all used to be fans of 112. Bad Boy 112. Put a 1 in the chat if you were fans of 112. Do you know that 112 was just 4 cornballs that just happened to know how to sing? I knew them. They were just 4 cornballs. Do you know who gave them the name 112? Diddy. They ran up on Diddy outside of a popular Atlanta club, 112, and they sung for Diddy. Slave stuff. They jumped out there and said, Diddy, please take my ass right now, Diddy, in front of Club 112. And Diddy was looking at them and he was like, he was in front of Club 112 and was like, you guys are 112. Here's my card. Call me and I'll sign you tomorrow. Really? Yes. He created them. They were just 4 cornballs from Atlanta. He created 112. So 112 was created by Diddy. Happy Thanksgiving, Christy. Created by Diddy. So 112 is the property of Bad Boy. So at one point, 112, when they realized that Bad Boy was taking all of their money, they wanted to leave Bad Boy and go off on their own. What happened? Diddy laughed. Diddy was like, yo, this is funny. You're not 112 when you leave me. I am 112. Diddy was 112. Bad Boy is 112. When they leave Bad Boy, they go back to 4 cornballs from Atlanta. They never was seen again. Am I right or am I wrong? When 112 left Bad Boy, nobody heard from them again. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or wrong? Do y'all remember back then? They tried to leave Bad Boy. Anybody name an artist that left Bad Boy and kept going into stardom? You can't. Every artist on Bad Boy tried to leave and just went into just oblivion after they left Bad Boy. 702. 112. Faith Evans. 112. All these people tried to leave Bad Boy and just disappeared off the face of the earth. Total. Yes. Why you think he was gonna delete Biggie? Because he was about to leave. Right. But the thing about it is, if he would have left, Biggie would have been totally dependent on Tupac, because the only reason why Biggie was somebody was because of Bad Boy. So Biggie would have been a nobody, but Biggie was leaving with Tupac. So he would have had Tupac's assistance. But Biggie would have been a nobody if he would have just left Diddy by himself. You know, Biggie didn't really have a personality. Biggie was just like, sitting there with his Kango on. Yeah. He didn't even, he had no charisma. He had no nothing. So at the end of the day, Biggie would have been nothing, but he had Tupac to partner with. So he would have left Diddy and went with Tupac, not leaving Diddy and just being by himself. But name an artist that left Bad Boy and went up. I'm still waiting. Name an artist that left Bad Boy and went up. I'll wait. All right, let's keep going. 112 left Bad Boy and just disappeared off the face of the earth. They literally disappeared. Why? Because they sold their asses to Diddy. They were the property of Diddy. Their identity was the shiny suits, doom, 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 or cream. They had no identity when they left Diddy because they were Diddy and Diddy was them. Diddy was 112 or Bad Boy was 112. They literally disappeared because they were the property of Bad Boy. And without Diddy, there's simply 4 lame dudes from Atlanta with no swag. Take away the shiny suits and the sunglasses, they're nothing. And the same thing goes for Drake. And I'm still waiting on somebody in the chat to tell me who left Bad Boy and blew up. Not another human being did that. All right. So Bad Boy gave them their identity, their sound, their connections, their production, their popularity. John B. Yeah, John B. Everybody. What's up, Moeezy? They themselves were not 112. Diddy was 112. All right. And virtually every other Bad Boy artist tried the same thing and all fell on their faces. Because when you decide to sell your ass to a company, you are now the property of the company you sold your ass to. Your ass isn't your ass anymore. Your ass is the company's ass. You are now their asset. Asset. You are a set of asses that they bought. Okay? They buy this artist, they buy this artist, they buy this artist. Y'all are an asset, a set of asses that is set in front of them to sell and prioritize at their will. All right. Like I keep saying, record companies are banks that pay you advance money. When they sign you to a record deal, you just got a loan from a bank. That's all a record deal is. It's a freaking loan. So these rich artists are not rich. They're leveraged assets. I'll say that again. These rich artists are not rich. They are leveraged assets. They're leveraged assets. And because you are an asset, set of asses, your swag, your name, your hotness, your identity is not yours. Just like your car is not yours if you are paying a car note. That is not your car. You're paying a car note. That is not your car. That is the bank's car. The day you decide to not pay the car note, the bank will take their car back. So you're riding around in a car and people are thinking that is you. No, that is the bank's. You are riding around in a bank's car. So the bank pays radio stations. Going back to Drake. The bank pays the radio stations. The bank manipulates your streams. The bank manipulates your audience. The bank, which is the record company, makes award shows like you. The bank pays the award company to give you a Grammy. The bank, which is a record company, creates this star that's in front of everybody. They pay millions of dollars to make you a star. You actually think you're going to leave them? No, that's not how it works. And what I'm doing is breaking down all of this Drake stuff. You start to actually think, after winning the Grammy, after being the hottest rapper in the world, you start to think you are actually somebody. You are not somebody. They are somebody. You are not a star. You are a slave. Okay? You are not a star. You are a slave. This is why almost every artist and actor ends up having a drug problem. Quick question. And I know y'all haven't seen this, but I just want to ask y'all. Has anybody in the chat watched the movie Smile Part 2? Has anybody in the chat watched the movie Smile Part 2? And if you haven't, please go watch it. It's a very gory movie, but it will literally give you an understanding of what an artist goes through. It's a horror movie, all right? It's like a demonic thing that takes over your body or whatever. But I haven't, okay. But has anybody watched Smile Part 2? It just came out. And the reason why I'm bringing up this movie is because if you want to know what a typical artist is going through, in all honesty, if you want to know what the typical woman is going through, go watch the movie Smile 2. It will literally let you know what goes on in the head of a woman and what goes in the head of an artist. Because a woman is actually literally just an artist without the money. An artist is supposed to placate, entertain, and people please to an audience. And that's literally what women do. They literally placate to other women and other people. They copy what other women are doing, and they wear wigs. They present themselves as in a certain kind of way just to perform in front of other people. So a woman is literally the epitome of a singer. So a woman and a singer are the same people, you know. What's up, Melissa? So go watch Smile Part 2 and you'll be like, oh my God, you're so right. Okay. So they give you Grammys, they give you awards, and then you start thinking that you are actually hot. No, you are actually a slave. You know, and this goes for Prince. This goes for Michael Jackson, any of these people. Michael Jackson, if you just stripped away all this other stuff, he was a feeble little person that talked like a girl. You took away all of this Michael Jackson stuff. He was just a feeble little girl looking person. You take away, any of these people. They're just, like I said, this is who Drake actually is. This is Drake.
I think this shit reminds me of that, like, our Connects. We have that Janae song, but like it would be nice
to have that Janae song. That's who Drake actually is. So if you take away all this stuff, they're just, and to be honest with you, most of the artists, they're incels, because you have to be quirky or weird or something has to be wrong with you for you to actually sell your ass to a record company. So let's keep going. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. This is why almost every artist and actor ends up having a drug problem, because they have to tour and have to do certain things that they don't want to do. They have to tour. See, I, as an example, don't have to tour. I'm with tonight's conversation. And if anybody is in Atlanta, we got a tonight's conversation show in Atlanta on this Saturday. Anybody in Atlanta? Who's in Atlanta? Anybody in Atlanta? Who's in Atlanta? Who is in Atlanta who is watching right now? Who is in Atlanta? Say, I'm in Atlanta. Anybody watching in Atlanta? Anybody? Nobody here is in Atlanta who's watching? Who's in Atlanta? Okay, so nobody watching is in Atlanta. We're having a show Saturday. We got 2 shows this Saturday with tonight's conversation. I don't tour with tonight's conversation. I do I do tour dates with tonight's conversation. So like I was just with tonight's conversation right here. This was 2 weeks ago.
Does a partner's income impact your view of long-term compatibility? We're gonna start with the lady.
I would say
That you were talking about.
I'm
birth control. And you like, oh, okay. I'm irresponsible.
Drop it off in you.
Hold on, time out. Don't be looking crazy.
Because I know plenty of bitches that be like, well, bump this pill or bump this shot, and I'm gonna get. It was one of those things where you.
So I work with tonight's conversation on a normal basis, right? So, but the thing about it is, I enjoy sitting on my ass because this studio is one of my rooms in my house. I just go put on a sweatshirt and come in here and do my thing, because nobody makes me and nobody has created me. I do videos by myself. I'm not a podcast and all these other people. I don't share my revenue with nobody. No. Yes. So why people like Drake, 112, and all these other people sell their asses to companies for money, I sit on my ass for money. So I don't sell my ass, I sit on it. But people like Drake, they depend on a company, a conglomerate, to create something that they can't be themselves. And then when they get the big head and start thinking that they are somebody that they are not, as in Drake, they start suing and start acting a fool. But next thing you know, for what? You're a nobody. See, the thing about it is you have to build your own platform, build your own products, build your own name, build your own identity. And if you don't, you're going to literally simply be a slave. So shout out to tonight's conversation. But I don't tour with tonight's conversation because partly I enjoy being at home in front and building my brand with y'all. I don't want to build somebody else's brand. I want to partner with somebody else's brand. I partner with Ace Metaphor. I am not his brand. I am my own brand. I partner with Ace Metaphor. And I love that great relationship that I have with Ace. You know what I'm saying? So when tonight's conversation goes to this city, I pull up. When tonight's conversation comes to Atlanta, I'm on the show. But I'm not touring and doing all this other stuff because I have to make sure that I continue to build my own brand. This is my brand that I have in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So that is important. So these other artists, they have to tour. They have to keep up with the what the company is requiring of them because they don't gave them a bunch of money. And now in exchange, you are now their slave. That's why a lot of artists end up being on drugs because they use Adderall or use all these uppers in order to keep up with the monotony or the rigorous life of a movie star or a rap star or a singer. I don't want to do that shit. I like sitting in my chair, sitting on my ass, talking my shit. You know, will I make more money somewhere else? Actually, no, because it's not their money. It's their leverage. I don't want somebody else's leverage. I want my own leverage. So because they have to tour, because they have to do all these things that they don't want to do, they start doing drugs to keep up with the hundreds of obligations. They literally have no autonomy anymore. And it's like they're somebody's child. I don't want to be somebody's child. All right. Like I talked about, the movie Smile 2 was a great depiction of the blatant nightmare singers and rappers go through when they sign their lives away. It is like a horror movie. It's a horror movie, but Drake probably lives his own horror movie. So back to Drake. Drake is literally an incel and in a cornball that was taken from his mommy. Brought to America from Canada, and made into a star. And since he was never this human being, initially, he wasn't Drake, he was Aubrey. He wasn't Drake, he was Aubrey. They made him into Drake. And since he was never this person, internally, he became this evil, narcissistic, terrible human being. And just like with Diddy, at some point, when you're no longer an asset, what's going on with Diddy, why he got denied bail. Shout out to Janine. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Shout out to Janine. Appreciate you. And since you were never this person, internally, you are now a terrible human being with money and influence. And just like Diddy, at some point, when you're no longer an asset you used to be, you are no longer the asset you used to be, they start allowing you to rust out. They just leave you out in the rain to just rust out. See, when they stop protecting you and they start allowing you to just be yourself, which is a cornball, an incel, people start looking at you like, yo, what is wrong with you? Why are you not cool anymore? Because they're allowing you to rust out. When they start protecting you and you finally start they start letting you self yourself to death. So what's happening with Drake is selfing himself to death because he's no longer protected. So now people see him as Aubrey and they're like, yo, I don't like this person because he's no longer being protected. He's rusting out. You wake up one day wondering what happened. Nothing happened. And that's the problem. You're always waiting on something to protect you or make you into something or create you. No, now you're just you. And now nobody likes you because nobody liked Drake when he was in Canada. He was a cornball. And the world now sees you for the piece of shit that you've always been. It's like, have y'all ever seen, put a 1 in the chat if y'all seen a 6'4" Impala or, in the old rap songs, the 6'4" Impala on hydraulics and it got all the rims and the car looks so cool. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen Snoop or Dre riding around in a 6'4" Impala. It makes you want a 6'4" Impala. But it's a 64 Chevrolet Impala. Who the hell wants an old ass car? Let me show y'all what a 6'4" Impala looks like. I want to show y'all something. Let me show y'all. Hold on, I'm trying to find a good one. All right, here's a 6'4" Impala. All right, so I want to show y'all 6'4" Impala, and it looks cool. So this is how a 6'4" Impala looks. Let me make it bigger. It looks so cool. Got the hydraulics, got the gold rims, got the paint job, right? It looks great, right? But it's just an old ass car. Well, I was trying to find an actual video of Dre riding around in the 6'4" Impala, but it took I couldn't find nothing that wasn't copyrighted, because I didn't want to show something that was copyrighted. So if I show something copyrighted, now I got problems. So yeah, it was difficult finding a 6'4" Impala. Yes. So it took too long. So forget it. So my point is, a 6'4" Impala is actually a 1964 dented up, rusted out, 60-year-old car. So Drake is like the 6'4" Impala that is in the Snoop Dogg videos. But if you go look for a 6'4" Impala, it's an old ass beat up car that's rusted out and is 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, when you take off the paint, when you take off the rims, when you take out the music, when you take out the chrome exhaust, when you take out the chrome engine, it's just an old ass car. And that's when you take out the hydraulics, you're just a person that is just, a naked person. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Or what with Drake. Drake is just a cornball. 112 were just 4 cornballs. When you take away the shiny suits, you don't have anything anymore. So these rappers actually think there's somebody without the paint, without the chrome exhaust, without the rims. You're just a cornball. See, Drake was always protected from himself. But now his leverage is gone. The nigga's almost 40. Nobody cares about Drake anymore. Now he's taking Drake to court. I want y'all to think about that. Aubrey is taking Drake to court because he's not Drake. Universal Music Group is Drake. So Aubrey is essentially taking Drake to court. Because the record company is Drake. He is Aubrey from Canada. And somebody asked me, why doesn't he just retire? Why doesn't Drake just retire with all his money? Because he still owes money. A lot of these rappers, they don't have money. They owe money. They owe money. Diddy was a billionaire one day, and then the next day, he wasn't a billionaire. Why? Because the liquor company unattached themselves from Diddy, and he dropped like a rock. The same thing with damn Yeezy. When Kanye pulled away from Yeezy, Adidas, Kanye was not the billionaire anymore. These people don't have the money that you think they have. They have access to money. It's not their money. There's a difference between Yeezy and Kanye West. Yeezy was a billionaire. Kanye West is not a billionaire. These people are attached to the people that they've sold their asses to. And when you go against the person or company that you sold your ass to, that's their ass, not yours. So somebody asked, like I said, why doesn't he just retire? You mean like Jay-Z? You mean like 50 Cent? They left the rap game over a decade ago. Do y'all realize 50 Cent left the rap game about 15 years ago? Jay-Z left the rap game almost 15 years ago. These niggas don't rap no more. Why? They left when they were at the top. They left rap when they were at the top, when they had leverage. They both went into other things when they were at the top of their game. Drake is at the bottom of his game. Don't nobody care about no damn Drake no more. See, they were themselves, Sean Carter and Curtis Jackson. Jay-Z was himself when he started Rockefeller, because he was Jay-Z. I mean, he was Sean Carter when he started Rockefeller. Rockefeller was his own company. Yes, 50 Cent signed to Aftermath. But 50 Cent was friends with the owner of Aftermath. It wasn't some white man that he sold himself to. So 50 Cent did not sell his ass. He partnered with Aftermath and Shady Records. And then when it was time for 50 to go on about his business, because he left when his leverage was high, they had no choice but to let him go. Because nobody wants to go to war with Jay-Z. Nobody wants to go to war with 50 Cent at their height. So you let them go. They both went into other things. When they were at the top of their game, when they were still hot. Happy Thanksgiving, Carmen. Remember, everything is about leverage. Jay-Z took on a job and became president of Def Jam. Why? Because he wanted to work his way out of his deal. He wanted to become an executive, so he became the president of Def Jam, and he took a pay cut. He was a rapper getting paid this much money. He became a president and made this amount of money. Why? Because he needed the stigma of rapper to leave him. He needed to prove to white America that I can be an executive. I can just live on my own. I can own businesses. He took a pay cut. They didn't sell their asses for a check. And then Jay-Z started Tidal. Tidal is still running well now. Or either he sold Tidal, one of the two. And then at the same time, what did 50 Cent do? He created Power. He is an executive. So Jay-Z and 50 Cent are no longer rappers, and they ain't been rappers in like 12, 15 years. They are executives. What is Drake? A damn stupid ass rapper. Drake don't own shit. Drake has not created shit. Drake has not created anything because Drake is not a creator. See, there's a difference between an artist and a creator. I am a creator, not an artist. I partner with other people. Other people don't create me. I partner with them because I put in the sweat equity and my own money to create my own leverage. Sing around, and the same thing goes for YouTubers. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a YouTuber, because some of y'all aren't. Some of y'all just be on YouTube. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a YouTuber. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a YouTuber. See, a lot of people sell their ass to YouTube. A lot of people sell their asses to YouTube. They get on YouTube and get views and get paid from YouTube. That is not a business. A business is something that you create yourself. A business is something that you invest in out of your brain. You being on YouTube, you are not a creator. You ain't creating shit. What did you create? What are you creating? You're not a creator. You're not a content creator. What did you create? No, you're not a creator. You have to create something out of your brain that did not exist before you thought about it. You have to create something. 50 Cent created power. Jay-Z created a new streaming platform called Tidal that rivals Spotify. See, there's one thing about being on Spotify, and there's another thing about being the competitor to Spotify. There's a difference. And there's nothing wrong with being a YouTuber. I'm just showing y'all the difference. I'm just showing y'all the difference. So sit around, depending on a YouTube check, means you're selling your ass to YouTube. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying what Aubrey is doing versus what Jay-Z is doing. What are you creating on your own that wasn't there before you before you thought of it? Look at Fresh and Fit. These cornballs lost their monetization, and since they never created anything, while their leverage was at the top, they are now broke. Play your commercial. Okay, I'll play my commercial. The solution that will help every woman watching, regardless of age, regardless of background. See, in my 7 years of coaching women, the number one thing that I hear in my coaching sessions is her issue or tumultuous relationship with her mother. So what I've done is come out with a card game that will actually help mothers and daughters come back together. We have to get to the source of a woman's pain, her inadequacies, her insecurities, and heal that little girl inside of her before she goes out in the world as a woman. I call Like Mother, Like Daughter, therapy in a box. Therapy in a box is 50 questions for the daughter to ask the mother, questions that you always wanted to ask. And it's also 50 questions for the mother to ask the daughter. But when you're able to ask the questions that you always wanted to ask to your mother without her getting upset, without her pulling rank on you, the lines of communication are now open. When women are finally able to forgive their mother, relationships outside of the household would then blossom. Because for most women, there's a hurt little girl inside of her that never had an opportunity to be seen or heard. But all that stops when you buy my new Like Mother, Like Daughter card game. Order it now. The link is under this video. Click the link and let's start healing. And just so y'all know, my Black Friday sale ends Sunday. My Black Friday sale ends Sunday. So if you want to buy your mother-daughter card game, it is now $62, but it's going to go back up to $199 Sunday. So make sure to get your card game before the Black Friday sale is over. It's $62 now. It's usually $199. All right. I have built, and the reason why I can sell a card game for $199 is because I sold a card game for $35. Think about that. I built something, therefore I can use my own leverage to charge more money for something else, because I now have a lot. I've sold thousands of card games. So I have leverage, and I also have trust. People trust that I make a great product. That is called leverage. All right. Misha Jaguar card game. So back to what we were saying. Fresh and Fit lost their monetization because they were just simply two weirdo cornballs that over leveraged themselves, and now they're broke. They get all those views. Nobody ever said we need to come up with a product, because they're stupid. Not one time did they say we're going to come up with a product. They're idiots, but it is what it is. And as a man, just talk to the men for a second. As a man, you must leave and go find your own way. There's a book called The Alchemist. Did anybody ever read The Alchemist? It's a story of a sheep herder that left his family to go find his purpose. And he went through a whole lot of shit in order to find his purpose. And he struggled a lot in order to find his purpose. But this is something that you have to do as a man. You have to go find yourself. You have to go leave and go find yourself. Your new creations are what maintains your leverage. And if you just stay like Drake did, you end up rusting out. You end up losing your leverage. This is what Aubrey, and this is something that Aubrey can do. Somebody clip this. All Aubrey has to do is to do what Diddy did when Biggie died. Do y'all know what Diddy's first album was? What was Diddy's first album? What was Diddy's first album, y'all? And Diddy is not a millionaire. He was put in that position to lure people into the lifestyle for them to sign their souls away. And yes, facts. Facts. That is exactly what I'm saying. These dudes aren't millionaires. What was Diddy's first album, y'all? I'm making a point here. What was Diddy's first studio album? Does anybody know? What was Diddy's first album, y'all? Come on now. Somebody, what was it? Okay. It was called No Way Out. Yeah. Pump that in the family. Yes. It was called No Way Out. All Aubrey has to do, all Drake has to do is come out with an apology album, a No Way Out type of album, and call it I'm Sorry, where he makes Drake type music, sad music, and talk about how he's sorry to the women he hurt, talk about how he's sorry to the fans he hurt, talk about how he's sorry for getting into it with Kendrick Lamar, say he's sorry to Future, say he's sorry to Metro Boomin, because some of y'all may not know this. One of the reasons why Metro Boomin came out with the beat BBL Drizzy, because Drake actually needed a beat from from Metro Boomin, and Metro Boomin's mom passed away, and he was like, I don't care about your mom. Give me my goddamn beat. And Metro Boomin was like, bro, my mom just died. I don't care. Give me my beat. And Metro Boomin was like, we're not friends. You're a terrible human being. So if Drake was to apologize and tell the story about how he literally ignored the fact that Metro Boomin's mom died, and he sat there and said, give me my beat, and ignored the fact that his mom died, and he did that in a lyrical form and just made a sad, whatever melodic beat to it with that underground sound that he be doing. Yo, I got a lot of people I gotta apologize to. And name the songs, the people he hurt. Metro Boomin. Name the song Metro Boomin. Name the song Future. Name the song whoever. And just did his Drake thing, he will be right back on top. Because that's what he's known for. The emotional music. And just make an apology album and just say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry is the perfect name of a Drake album. That's the type of shit he be naming his albums. I'm sorry. Boom. But guess what? He will never do that because he is stupid. He is not a creator. When Diddy allegedly deleted Biggie, he went on a empathy tour. That's when he came out with Every Step I've Been Missing You. That was up on the No Way Out album. That was it. No Way Out created P Diddy instead of Puff Daddy. He evolved from Puff Daddy to P Diddy. His whole album in the No Way Out album was a sad, rainy, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. I don't know where my life is going to go. I don't know what happened to me. I'm sad. I'm depressed. The whole album was him whining about how sad he is. That's all Drake has to do, and explain everything that he did wrong. All he has to do is take a piece out of what Diddy did and just victimize himself back to the top. That's all you gotta do. That's it. But I'm about to get out the house and go eat some food. I just wanted to do this live stream real quick because it was on my mind, and maybe do a part 2 or whatever. But y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
While we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game. We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper discussions, dating edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
They ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.